Hey beauts, welcome back to Pretty Scary, the channel that brings you easy to follow budget-friendly tutorials that you can do at home. And today it's day 7 of 31 days of Halloween, and today I have this dark fairy for you. I really enjoyed doing this one because it was one from my imagination, unlike a lot of the others that I've done as sort of recreations of movie characters. So if you want to know how to do this, keep on watching. Now throughout this tutorial you will see me eating these crisps a lot, and I mean a lot. I'm quite obsessed with them. Anyway, I was going to leave out doing my base, but there is something so satisfying about watching somebody do their foundation, so I thought I couldn't deprive you of that beaut. So here is me doing my base, just a NYX foundation and then a Avon True Skin concealer, I think it's called. And then just blending it with my Primark version of those really posh brushes that everybody was using. More crisps and then on to making some fangs for this dark fairy. Take some polymorph plastic, put the pellets into just boiled water, and this makes it soft and mouldable. Mould a fang shape, push it up into your teeth. This way you get a nice good mould of your teeth so that the fangs fit you correctly. If the fang gets a little bit too hard, dip it back into hot water and that makes it mouldable once more. And then you have perfect fitting fangs. And I pre-made some ears. They're just shop bought ones which I painted with some water-based face paint. And I pre-made some lashes, just stuck on strips of thin card onto some fake lashes. More crisps. And then I just sprayed my hair up out the way, ready to glue on those ears. You don't want to get glue into your hair. And then I just took some skin adhesive and put some on my actual ears and onto the fake ears, because this kind of skin adhesive works best as a contact adhesive. Put it on there, let it go clear. Eat some more crisp while you do so. And then just fix those ears onto your own. I can't really put a link to where I bought these ears because they have been in my kit forever. I bought them years and years and years ago, but if you just Google elf ears or Spock ears or something like that, then I'm sure you will find something along these lines. And then just I'm stippling on a little bit of latex just to blend them more to my skin and secure any slightly loose edges, because obviously they're not made specifically to fit my ears. And then I just took some Diamond FX black water-based face paint. This is a wax-based face paint, so it's a really intense shade of black, because I wanted to colour my whole chest and neck area and I didn't want any streaks or patchiness. I still ended up applying a couple of layers just to make sure it was really, really opaque. So I just painted it on and then blended it with sponge, blending it up my neck and then down my arms. Taking Margot by Laura Mercier, I'm just starting to shade the eyes. What I basically wanted to do was create a kind of messy, smoky eye for this dark fairy. I'm trying to tie in all the colour scheme here, so I'm using blacks, greys and pinks. But you can use whatever colour scheme you want. If you prefer a blue fairy, do a blue fairy, or purple, orange, the world's your oyster. So I just did Margot all over and underneath, and then used a deeper grey in the socket line. I'm just taking this a lot lower than you normally would with a smoky eye, because I wanted a kind of ethereal, kind of fairy kind of quality to it. So taking that darker grey underneath as well, making sure I blend between each of the colours. And then I took Rose Bloom by Laura Mercier and just brought that down onto the face, just to extend that smoky eye and tie in that pink that I was talking about earlier. And then I took that over the top up onto the brow bone. This just softened and again brought in that pink shade into the smoky eye too. And then I just took a black thick liner from Barry M and just used that to create a really deep smoky socket line. Extended that onto the edge of the eye too, and then I just blended that out. Don't worry about this looking too perfect. You're a dark evil fairy, you don't need an absolute perfect smoky eye, but just smoke it out the best you can. And then I just extended this down onto the lower lash line and blended it in exactly the same way. I found it helpful to use a cotton bud here rather than a brush, because it allowed me a little bit more control and it meant that I wasn't kind of stabbing a brush into my eye, even though you see me using a brush there, but hey. Anyway, back onto using a deep grey just to blend out that black a little bit more. And underneath the eye too. I kind of wanted my fairy to look a little bit grungy and not really like she'd been crying, but just kind of a bit, you know, worn and like she's been in the forest scaring people and killing small animals or something, I don't know. I just didn't want her to look too perfect, basically, is what I'm trying to say, in a roundabout kind of way. Now taking that pink shade that we used before onto the lids just to tie that in a little bit more. And a little bit more down onto the cheeks because I felt I'd lost that with the blending of the dark shadows. Using the bright pink Barry M blusher, I just wanted to intensify that pink because I felt it wasn't quite pink enough. And then I just took that pink onto my nose and also around my lips. And then taking Margot again, I use this to contour my cheekbones because every dark fairy needs a good set of cheekbones. And then some good old liquid liner. I lined the tops of my eyes and I also lined underneath and just gave myself a very kind of pointed tear duct to give a nice kind of elongated cat's eye. Because I think this fairy, apart from being evil, would be quite seductive. I'm just writing myself a little fairy tale here as I do this makeup. Now taking a really intense black eyeshadow, this one's from H&M. I use this just to create some feathery eyebrows. I didn't want the eyebrows to be too kind of perfect and groomed looking, so I just feathered them out. And then I took that black water-based face paint that you saw earlier and used this just to blend the ears into my own ears and just kind of bring that down onto the face a little bit more to make it look a little bit more cohesive and not like they've just been stuck on there. And I use a little bit of pink as well. Again, you're just kind of tying those two colours in. I decided to use the black eyeshadow to also bring down the top edge of the ears just down onto my face. What I was wanting to do was just to make those ears look like they are actually part of me, as I said, other than just looking stuck on. And then just bringing out the detail of those ears with some more black eyeshadow. In time for lashes, curl your lashes and apply some mascara, ready to put on those lovely dramatic false lashes. As I record this, I can smell the dinner that my fiance is cooking and it smells amazing. Anyway, so I'm using a bright pink lime crime liquid lipstick to create some fairy lips. It always amazes me how much a lip just really brings a look together. I can't seem to do any look without having a really defined, strong lip. It's part of my everyday makeup as well. I always have dark lipstick on, whatever I'm doing. Well, not necessarily dark lipstick, but strong lipstick. Anyway, so I created a bit of a sort of a natural lip shape, not my normal lip shape, but I wanted it to look very kind of pixie-ish. And then I just blended some pink blusher around the edge of that, and then using that black shadow I used earlier, I used that to create kind of a pink and black ombre lip effect, just shading in the inner corners and then onto the lips as well, and even on the outside, and smudging that out, again to create that lovely grungy feel that I was trying to get also with the eyes. I also decided to shade around my nose. This seems to be a staple of my looks. I seem to always find myself doing this. And then I just wanted to create some kind of streaks under the eyes because I felt that the eye area was looking a little bit too plain. So just using a very fine artist brush, I just used that same black eyeshadow from earlier and just created the streaks. And then just defined a little bit more around the eyes where I felt it needed it, and also around my hairline. This is something else I seem to find myself doing quite a lot in looks, but hey, we all have our styles. And then I just blended along that jawline a little more. Finally, the glue was set on those lashes, so I glued those on. They did feel rather strange. And then I took some Clown White Cream White face paint and just use that to create a little bit of highlight on my collarbones and my shoulders, and also on my chest. I just felt that the black was just looking too flat, so I just wanted to bring a little bit of dimension into it. And then I decided that I wanted a little bit more detail on the face, so I did these kind of tenderly black things coming up from the neck. Painted them on with a very fine brush and some black face paint, and then went over with some black eyeshadow and then blended that out so they looked kind of smudged into the skin and part of the skin. I really liked the way these came out, and I was really glad I added these. They were kind of a last minute decision. Decided I wanted to do some on the forehead as well, and I just blended those up into the hair. Just did them in exactly the same way as I did the ones on my jawline. To finish the look, I just did a loose side plait, messed it up, stuck in some fake roses, and then just painted my fingers black just to tie my hands into the entire look. Right, I hope you enjoyed this evil dark fairy. All that remains is for me to say thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please give me a massive thumbs up and subscribe, and I shall see you tomorrow. Love ya!